Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the emotional needs of people living with advanced breast cancer. Before I do that, though, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to our channel. You can also go to yerbba.com and get your personalized report. So advanced breast cancer is cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. And of course, once cancer has spread, the emotional experience is different from early stage breast cancer. Not to say that early stage breast cancer is easy. We have lots of videos about meeting the emotional needs of people with breast cancer regardless of the stage. But when you're living with advanced breast cancer, most of the time you will hear that the purpose of therapy is to manage the cancer. We in general do not talk about curing advanced cancer. I do want to say that some people can live many, many years where their cancer is really not interfering with their daily life in any way. They may not even be on any treatment because, as far as we know, they don't have any disease. It's been put into remission. But for most people with advanced breast cancer, this disease will be part of your life for the rest of your life. And that is a huge change from hoping and believing that your cancer won't come back, or being concerned that it might, but not being certain that it has. So it's an emotional experience that includes things like fear, anger, grief, disbelief, denial, rage, sadness. There are a whole host of emotions that really fall along the entire emotions continuum when people are living with advanced breast cancer. If that's you or somebody you love, I'm sure you've had the experience of experiencing many of these emotions. And the key thing I want to validate is that all of these emotions are real and true, and nobody can tell you how to feel. You will find that people around you often want you to feel happy or think positive. And while their wishes are coming from a good place, this can be invalidating for you. If you're a friend of somebody with advanced breast cancer, it's really important not to let your wishes and desires crowd out the difficult emotions, important emotions that somebody living with advanced breast cancer is having. We all have difficult emotions. We can't get through life without feeling anger, fear, disgust, disbelief, sadness. All of these things are an important part of our lives. It's also the case that your emotions are going to come and go. There will be times when you forget you have advanced breast cancer. That doesn't mean you're in denial. As far as I'm concerned, if you're showing up for your appointments to the physician and the rest of your medical team, you're actually not in denial. How you choose to cope on a day-to-day basis with the knowledge that you're living with a serious illness is functional. It's how you're going to get through things. So I want to be really careful not to say that somebody's having denial just because they don't talk about their cancer all day, every day. You are so many things other than your cancer diagnosis. You might be a parent, you might be a daughter, a partner, a friend, a sister. You have a job many times, or you volunteer in your community. So it's okay to go about your daily life. It doesn't mean you're in denial. There are going to be times when you can laugh, and times when laughter seems completely out of reach. We describe this as an emotional roller coaster. Times that this will be heightened are when you're getting ready to go see your medical team. You're about to go see your oncologist or a radiation oncologist, or you've had a scan, a test, blood work, or another kind of test, and you're waiting for the results. Is the treatment working? How well is the treatment working? All that uncertainty is heightened before you have encounters with the medical system. So it's important to realize that your feelings are going to ebb and flow. You will find joy again, I promise you, especially in the little moments. That's really where we live our lives, is in moments. And one of the key ways to cope with your emotional up and down is to be present and practice mindfulness. I happen to be a professional worrier, and I can go from 0 to 60 in terms of the things that I fear. And especially in the middle of the night, I can tell myself very scary stories, usually about people I love, that something bad is going to happen to them. If we can bring ourselves back to what we know right now that can really help us control those out of control thoughts. In terms of those out of control thoughts, there are a few ways that you can help manage those. One that I strongly recommend is setting aside worrying time. Now, some people feel if they give voice to their worries, it'll make those things come true. And if you firmly believe that talking about your fears will make them come true, this may not apply to you. But in general, we know that talking about our fears actually takes away some of their power. It's like shining a light in the dark corners in a room. Think about it as shining a light in the dark corners of your mind. I don't recommend that you do this when you're trying to get a good night's rest. So people who know me know that I often recommend that you set aside a worry time before dinner. So this might be while dinner's cooking or while you're at work or in the afternoon before everybody comes home. You set aside 10 good minutes to just worry. You can write these things down, everything you're afraid of, and look at them on the page, or you can dictate them into a dictaphone. You can call a good friend. You can call a peer support person and just talk about your fears. Again, I think it shines light on them and gets rid of those shadows. And to just hear yourself voice them makes them somehow smaller. It doesn't make them go away. It doesn't make them any less real, but I think it helps you get a little bit of control over your thoughts. Again, I don't recommend doing this at night, and even in the morning, then they have the whole day to accumulate. So kind of get them out. If you find that you're worrying a lot, you could do it twice a day, in the morning and then at the 4 to 6 o'clock time in the afternoon, early evening. I think you'll find that's really helpful. Other things that can help are meditation. It's not actually possible to empty the mind of thought. I suppose some people who are meditation gurus who've been doing this for 20 years can, but really it's a chance to distance yourself from your thoughts a little bit and realize this is just a thought. And I recommend when people meditate that they label their thoughts. So it could be worry or planning or excitement or I'm distracted. Just label what's going on in your mind without any judgment. And certainly don't judge yourself if you can't empty your mind. When you meditate, feel where your body is making contact with the chair or the floor. If you meditate outside, you can notice all the sounds and sights and smells and tastes around you. What are you feeling? What are you hearing, seeing, smelling? That kind of getting in the moment can be a little bit of a break from all the other things going on in your life and in your mind. Other things that can help are yoga. If you are going to do yoga, we do recommend that you talk with your doctor and make sure there are no particular parts of your body, in particular the skeleton, that you need to protect. For the most part, yoga can be designed and tailored to you so that it's safe for you, but you just want to run this by your medical team. Other things that can help are your faith community. A lot of people, even people who don't define themselves as religious, find prayer to be very helpful. I know a lot of you watching have shared in the comments with us how important your faith is to you. If you happen to be someone who doesn't have a strong faith, that's okay too. Just whatever works for you. And if you've never prayed before, there's a wonderful formula from writer Anne Lamott, which is help, thanks, and wow. And you might want to start your prayers with help. Help me with this. Help me with that. I need help with this. And even if you're not praying to a deity and you're praying to the universe, asking for help is appropriate. Then next is thanks, gratitude. We're going to have another video all about gratitude, what it is and what it isn't. That'll be dropping soon, so keep an eye out for that. What are you grateful for? And wow. Wow is where we let awe into our life. What has amazed us today? It doesn't need to be something big. It can be something very small, like an ant carrying twice its weight. But it can also be moral beauty. The goodness of other people that you see can create a sense of awe. And it's funny because awe makes us actually feel a little smaller, which can somehow be very comforting to us. Instead of feeling like we're as big as the universe, it can make us feel just a part of the universe. So prayer can be very helpful. And if you haven't prayed, try the help, thanks, wow prayer of Anne Lamott. Other things that can be really helpful in dealing with the emotional aspects of living with advanced breast cancer are seeking out support. We do recommend that you find a support group with other people who are living with serious illness, living with advanced cancer or other serious illnesses. It just will make you feel more secure in talking about your fears, and you won't be given this sense of hurting other people who aren't living with advanced cancer, which is the last thing you need when you're seeking out support. The next thing I'd like to talk about is communication with others. When you tell people about your diagnosis, how much you share, and things that we really encourage you to communicate about. So, as with all medical conditions, this is your private information. Some people have told me when they're living with advanced cancer and share that information that they don't feel safe or acknowledged, and that can be really upsetting to you. So, especially when you're first diagnosed, we recommend that you keep your circle sort of small until you know the treatment plan, until you know how you're coping. Especially for people who tend to be caregivers, you may find yourself putting all your energy into comforting other people. And if these aren't people that you've chosen, that can be one more burden on you. Now, you may be the exact opposite, and you may find that telling as many people as possible helps share that burden and share your fears, and that's completely acceptable as well. But realize once you've told everybody, you can't take that information back. And even if you ask people not to tell others, they find that very challenging to do. So you sort of lose control over who knows your own personal business. Not that there should be anything stigmatizing about living with advanced cancer. It's just the downsides are you end up providing care to other people, sometimes people that you're not even that close to, reassuring them, for example, that you're okay. The other thing that you may find you get is something a lot of my patients have called the look. And that's this look of pity or sympathy that you don't find helpful. Sometimes it's very helpful to have people shed a tear with you. Other times you don't want them looking at you like you're about to drop dead, because you're not. You are very much alive. And I've had patients have to announce to all their friends and family, you're welcome to be part of my life, but I need you not to look like I've got one foot in the grave. I'm living with this disease. And that's actually the case with most people with advanced breast cancer, that you're living with, not dying of it. And if people come in with that look and it makes you feel like you're half dead, that's not useful. And I have had people, like I say, make declarations to everybody that you can't give me the look. So just something I've learned from my patients. Almost everything I share on here has been something my patients have taught me. And finally, it is very important that you talk with the people that you're close to about your wishes. I would say this is the case no matter who you are. I think whether you're 18 years old or 75 or 90 years old, you should talk about your wishes, because none of us actually knows when something's going to happen to us. And knowing whether you want to be an organ donor, knowing whether you want extreme measures, even if there's very little hope, like being on a ventilator, or whether you would prefer to be at home, that sort of thing. The best time to have those conversations is when they are not necessary. Once they're necessary, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of conflict. If you talk about this when you are cool as a cucumber, when they're actually not necessary, your true wishes can be aired without everybody feeling that you're giving up. The last thing I want to talk about is attitude. A lot of people will tell you if you have a positive attitude, you will do just fine. That can be actually really oppressive. My feeling is if you're doing great and you want to take credit for it because your attitude is good, that's wonderful. But what do we say to the person whose cancer is progressing, getting worse, despite the fact they've done everything? Do we tell them their attitude wasn't positive enough or their faith wasn't strong enough? I think a positive attitude, that whole mentality, is a bit of a double-edged sword. I hope this has been helpful to you. I know you're going through a tough time, and I'm hoping this kind of information support can help. Remember, you can visit Yerbba.com to get your personalized report. Please subscribe to this channel. We're always putting out new content. And drop us a comment or a question about your experiences. While we can't give medical advice, we can certainly validate your emotional experience, and we'd love to hear from you.